This has been the most interesting day that we've experienced for these reasons. You're intense, which means you have strong wanting. You're patient, which means you're willing to listen to the long version. You're intuitive, which is what brought you to this gathering today. You're aware. That's why you felt energy moving through you in stronger ways. You're queued up for self-realization that when others watch it happen will be pleasing to you, maybe not to them, but will be pleasing to you for this reason. We've been talking about energy. We've been talking about source. We've been talking about God. We've been talking about emotions. We've been talking about energy. We've been talking about flow. We've been talking about stifling and blocking. We've been talking about flow. But now we want to talk about cars. We want to talk about houses. We want to talk about lovers. We want to talk about mathematical equations. We want to talk about science. We want to talk about invention. We want to talk about creation. We want to talk about musical projects. We want to talk about books that you are writing. We want to talk about children that you are playing with and that you are raising. We want to talk about relationships that you are forming. We want to talk about the beautiful things in the world that you are attracting to you. We want to talk about the things of this earth that you are focused upon. And we want you to find a way of integrating this vibrational, law-based, universal knowledge, of integrating it into the details of the things that are important to you. We want to talk about your influence in your team winning. We want to talk about your reveling in the choir that the kids at your school are singing. We want to talk about the joyful things that your world is about. We don't want to distract you from the details of this physical life. We don't want to distract you from the food that you are eating or from your bodies that you are molding into the look and feel that you want. We don't want to distract you from anything that is of a physical nature. We just want you to look at the things that you are desiring and that are around you that are of a physical nature through the eyes of vibration, through the eyes of emotion, through the eyes of empowerment, from the eyes of assistance. We want you to allow yourself to integrate the broader perspective of Source into the details of your life. We want to say to you that when you are involved in the details of your life, and this is what you're bringing to this conversation, yes. When you are involved in the details of your life, and you are not conscious in the moment of your alignment, that's where overwhelmment comes from. When you are involved in the details of your life and you are in conscious concert with alignment, that's when your ecstasy comes. That's when your passion comes. That's when your thrill comes. Those are those high points that you keep wanting to bounce to another and to another and to another. In other words, there is no aspect of your life that will not be immediately enhanced by your conscious awareness of these things that we've talked about here today. So yes, you are physical and you are beautiful. And your homes are magnificent and becoming more so. And your inventions are becoming more, and your life is becoming more delicious. And your ability to interact and interface with one another is becoming smoother and more as you want it to be every single day. But if you extract from the equation of the life that you're wanting to live the vibrational basis of it, then you have no power or control. And when you reinsert it into the conversation, and you are mindful of the way you feel, and you are directing your thoughts energetically, not just subject by subject, but feeling by feeling, now you've got control of your life experience. And you will shine a light all around you that others will flock to, asking you continually, what is it that you know that I don't know? And your answer will be general. You will say, I've discovered that life is supposed to be fun and that it can be if I will allow it. I've discovered that all people are good and the best of them will come to me if I will allow it. I've discovered that there's nothing that is big enough that deserves my attention at pushing against, and that every time I let something be big enough that I push against, I slow myself down, I shoot myself in the foot, I diminish my joy, and I waste my moment in time. And if they ask further, if they say, well, how is it that you know these things? Say to them, it came natural to me. Once I got a glimpse of it, I remembered that I knew it when I was born. It's a dream that I believe that I knew. I think it is the reason that I came forth. I do not believe that I came forth to struggle or to suffer. I believe that I came forth to revel in the living of life. I believe that I've been given the free will to make my choices about life. I believe that I'm backed up by a source so powerful and so loving that I cannot even find the words to describe it. And I believe that the presence of that is with me in every moment that I allow it. And somehow I keep figuring out how to allow it a little now, and how to allow it a little now, and how to allow it a little now. And if they're still listening, and some of them will be, they may say, and how is it that you've discovered? What is it that you do? How do you allow this thing that feels so good to you? How do you allow it when your children are fighting or when someone is suffering? How do you allow it then? And you say, I can't allow it then. My attention to that deprives me of my ability to allow it. So I had to learn how to focus. And I practiced by looking at the best of life until I practiced the vibration of that. And then their logic will bring them to this. They will say, well, how is it that you dare to turn your eyes away from those who need you most? And then you give them the answer that they all are looking for, but that few are ready to hear right here and now in the midst of their trouble. You say, I turn the other cheek, because in turning it away from what troubles me, in turning it away from the problem, I turn it toward the solution. I've tuned myself to the solutions of life. I've tuned myself to the frequency that provides me with the solutions. So while I welcome problems because solutions are so fun to find, I stopped wallowing in the problem. We have enjoyed this interaction more than these words can explain to you. But we've been zapping you with the sonar of a dolphin all day today. It is our knowing that you have moved to a different vibrational place than you have been before. We want to say to you that we make too much of all of this, that if you would just find a reason to be playful and play, we encourage you, get together with your funnest of friends and spend time with them. We encourage you, go to your favorite places and focus upon them. We encourage you, get out the music that sounds the best to you and play it frequently. We encourage you, do those things that feel the best. Let those be the priority that are on your to-do today list. Put the things that don't feel good on someone else's list. Put the things that don't feel good on the list that says, maybe someday, but not today. Put them on the list that says, maybe someone else is ready to do this, but I've moved beyond it. I am a seeker of joy. Today, no matter where I go, no matter what I'm doing, and no matter who I'm doing it with, it is my dominant intent to look for what I'm wanting to find, to look for those things that feel the best. Our appreciation for you could not be greater, and our anticipation of that which is to come is very specifically focused for each of you who have participated here today. Feel for us, because we're right there reveling in your discovery of the well-being that you are so deserving of and temporarily depriving of. We have enjoyed this interaction a lot. We told Esther as the day was beginning that it would be her favorite day ever. And when she listens back to this, she's going to discover why. Our favorite thing in a day like this is your willingness to come and play with us. Sitting here in the room, many of you are watching live around the world, but you are participating here with not only us, but with your own inner being. And it is satisfying to us that we are able to offer some general words about the laws of the universe as we know them to be. And that by your willingness to be here, your willingness to play with us, your willingness to focus, that we are able together collectively to let go of those corks of resistance and your vibration raises. And what that means, especially in a day like this, is that when we move into some new places where we are not commonly treading, when we are finding some new ways of looking at things that you are not accustomed to looking at from your point of view, that because you have been willing to listen and because your vibration has raised, you're in a new place of clarity where it is meaningful to you. And the reason that we like that so much is because that means you've spent some time. We've been together for about 3 hours. And during a significant part of those hours, you have been in a state of alignment with the broader part of who you are. And what that means is you've practiced without meaning to a higher frequency vibration. And that practice is really all that is required in deliberate creation and in allowing what you want. When you have the benefit of finding a piece of music that you like, even though it's usually only 3 minutes long, or finding a book that you're feeling particular resonance with, or you have a new one that you are in love with that you are holding as your object of attention. When you have moments in time where you can focus for periods of time where no resistance enters into the arena for a specific period of time, 17 seconds gets it going, another 17 seconds really adds to it. And when you are able to sustain 68 seconds without resistance entering into the equation, you have moved your vibration significantly. And that's what's happened to several of you on several occasions here today. We talked about the deepest of subjects. We talked about things that matter to you the most. And in all of that, you shifted your vibration significantly. So what that means is, over the next few days, if we were standing in your physical shoes, since we are standing in your physical shoes, it is our intention to watch for evidence of the new alignment that you've practiced in these hours that we have been together. That evidence is going to thrill you. It's also going to buoy you. When you see it, when you come across it, consciously acknowledge it and make the correlation in your own being. This is as a direct result of my holding myself in vibrational alignment. And I can do that relative to everything. Friends, life is supposed to be fun. And you're not ever going to get it done. And you can't get it wrong. And if you will begin to embrace those contrasting moments as part of the path along your trail to the things that you are really wanting, then life will be sweet, 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 sweet for you the majority of the time. And when it's a little sour, it's still on track. That's really what we want you to hear from us. Be easy about it and meditate if you feel like it. But most of all, make a decision that nothing is more important than that you feel good, and pay attention to the way you feel. And when you feel less than wonderful, do anything and everything you can think of doing, which usually just means change the pace from whatever. So if you're in the middle of a conversation that is taking you down, smile and end it. If you are sitting in your body and it is tired and stiff, get up and move around. In other words, don't allow yourself to continue in the direction of what does not feel good. Use your guidance system in the way it is intended and shift directions. And so in the same way that if you've been sitting too long, you want to get up and stretch, sometimes you are involved in a thought that is not serving you, and you would be well to change the direction of the thought. That's where this going general will serve you. We mean it when we say to you that we are always with you. We are aware of where you stand in relationship to everything that you want.